Hey crypto kids, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be jumping into the chart for Bitcoin because currently Bitcoin is seeing a small pump towards the upside. Right now we're trading at $28,700 on Bitflex. That's absolutely amazing. I'm going to be discussing why this is happening on the short-term scale and my thoughts for Bitcoin on the macro scale. Like always, we're going to be going into the traditional markets. The S&P is falling, and the reason for this is because of this particular news that happened just a couple of hours ago. We have a couple of more other aspects to cover, but all of this and much more will be on today's video. So ladies and gents, if you haven't already left a like on this video, please go ahead and do that right now. It'll take you a few seconds, but it would mean the world to me. And guys, by the way, massive congrats on the trade we were discussing on the previous video because our take profit hit perfectly at 29.1K. On Bitflex, actually, we did go to 29.1K. So that would have been amazing if you did decide to take the trade. So massive congrats over there. I updated you guys on my free Telegram channel that the position was closed. And so again, massive congrats. And if you do want to join my free Telegram channel where I do share some of my TA that I can't share in my videos because of course, sometimes I don't have time in school. So if you do want to join, the link is in the description below. And if you do want to be trading on Bitflex or Bybit, also, I do have the links there as well, where you can get some very cool bonuses, and the campaign details are on the banner on the right-hand section, and you can find it in the description too. So, ladies and gents, let's get back into Bitcoin and discuss what is happening now. Before I talk about this, this broadening wedge that we have going on Bitcoin and where this can take us, I do want to jump into this news because this happened just a couple of hours ago, and this was the Fed chair speaking again just a couple of hours ago. So this is making the impact on the S&P at the moment. So if we jump into this, the Fed chair was again, he's saying that the policy stance is very restrictive. Now, what this means is the monetary policy being restrictive is that they want to have high interest rates to decrease inflation. And as you can see here, they're saying that the inflation is still too high. Now, to bring back to their goal of 2% inflation, most likely they are going to be increasing interest rates. On the statistics side, I don't think it's going to be happening this year because that's what the data is showing. Although going into next year, if they do hike interest rates in the short term, the economy will be it will be very bad because what happens is as you increase interest rates, people don't spend money. And when people don't spend money, the economy doesn't go around. And because of the situation we have with the inflation, this could actually lead to a stagflation. So this could be a very big problem that I'm seeing in the US economy. And on top of this, right? The US Treasury shelled out $807.8 billion in interest on its debt for securities. And we can see here that the US national debt is at $33.5 trillion dollars. And as a matter of fact, this is actually larger. The interest that they're paying is larger than their defense budget, their military budget. So this is absolutely crazy. And at some point, as I always say, this is going to implode on itself. So I'm a little bit bearish on the US economy right now. And of course, if interest rates continues to increase, bonds continue to decrease in value, then banks will go into trouble and Bitcoin will continue seeing its rise like we saw in SVB and First Republic Bank. So that is the first news that I wanted to touch on. And this is why the traditional markets are suffering a little bit at the moment. Now, talking about, banks, let's talk about for the Bank of America because there has been some bullish news about Bank of America. However, what people are missing is that the Bank of America reported losses, unrealized losses of $131 billion on their securities. So this is again most likely caused on interest rates, right? Because bank balance sheets, they hold a variety of stuff, and certain assets or certain securities do decrease when interest rates increase, right? So this could be another reason. And as you guys remember, the way that SVB collapsed was because of their terrible structure in terms of their diversification in short-term bonds, treasury bonds, which got affected by interest rates. So again, if bigger banks collapse, this will be very, very good for Bitcoin. Now, jumping into the actual technical side of Bitcoin. So we kind of retested, we tried to retest the previous resistance of this ascending triangle that we have on Bitcoin on the daily time frame. We kind of saw this retest, we tried to retest, and now we saw a nice bounce and we're pumping back towards the upside. Now, in terms of a trade, we already had our play, we already made some nice profits, but will we continue? Right? Will we continue? That is a very good question. Well, the thing that we cannot deny is that we're at a very important level of resistance. And of course, especially this $29,100 level will most likely give us a lot of resistance like it has. Well, we've not come up to it yet on the index, but we have on different exchanges. So this 29.1K level, all the OGs on the channel will remember this level. It's so damn important. I mean, the amount of times that Bitcoin has retested to this level in the imminent short term, if you compare it to the relative macro, is a massive number amount of time. So this will for sure give us some resistance. We can consolidate here, and then if we break up, we will. However, the thing is, right, we don't actually have any bullish news at the moment. Yes, the market saw the hype that is coming from if Bitcoin, by the way, I kind of I had a mistake on the previous video. I mentioned that iShares and the BlackRock ETF were two different things. It's not. It's actually the same thing. So this was my mistake. But yeah, so there are no ETF approvals at all at the moment. So, look, the market doesn't have any bullish news for us to actually pump over 29.1K. But the moment there is an ETF approval, I do think we can break up to 31K. But I think this will be a top for Bitcoin. I'm not saying we're not going to continue higher after the halving, but I think it's just we've seen a lot of this movement already been priced in, more so than when we were here, anyways. So I don't think it's going to be a radical move, but I do believe that a move to 31K is definitely possible once the ETFs actually get approved. Now, in terms of a trade, I would be usually putting a short at 29.1K for Bitcoin, but I'm actually going to wait until what the market does tomorrow. So again, if I do place a short, I will be updating you guys on my free Telegram channel. So if you do want to be updated on that, you can join using the link in the description below. So this is my short-term outlook for Bitcoin. We can look at some very interesting indicators because if I switch on the RSI, let's see how to do this. So there we go. Perfect. Now on the weekly time frame, the first thing that I will mention is the MACD. Now the MACD is about to have a bullish crossover towards the upside on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. If this happens, this will be absolutely amazing because the last time that we had a very like it was a very nice bullish crossover. Yes, we did have one over there, but this was not too nice, if I'm being honest with you, in terms of the market stance. But this one was a nicer bullish crossover. Yes, the market did dip back down to the 15.5K area, but we did see a massive pump in the macro outlook. So yes, we could have this bullish crossover tomorrow or going into the next week, actually. We could see a small dip, but I do think in the macro, Bitcoin will pump towards the upside after the signal on the MACD. Now, in terms of the RSI, there is a situation that is not too great. And the reason why I do think in the short term, Bitcoin will see a little bit of a pullback is because if we have a look on the RSI, and if I just reduce my MACD over there, we can see we can see a kind of a bearish divergence here. So if you have a look at the high here compared to the high now, it's actually a little bit higher because Bitcoin is pumping, it's like barely a divergence, but it is a possibility that this divergence becomes a little bit more cleaner if Bitcoin does see a little bit of a retracement in the upcoming hours. But we do have a divergence on the RSI, and this could cause a dump back down to at least the 27.9K in my opinion. So do be careful of that. Ladies and gents, that is it for the short-term technical analysis for Bitcoin. Now we can jump into the macro. But again, guys, if you do want to be trading this, you can go into the description below and sign up to one or both of the exchanges I have over here. So going into the macro chart, I do believe that after the halving, and especially after a couple of months from the halving, Bitcoin will, even if we consolidate here, stay in the accumulation phase, we will eventually pump. This is my belief. However, in the short term, we could be forming a double top on the monthly chart. So this is something to keep an eye on, FYI. Now, in terms of the final remarks and final news, there is some bullish news. Tesla reveals that none of their $312 million Bitcoin holding was sold in Q3 of 2023. And on top of this, let's see if there is anything more important. JP Morgan expects the SEC to approve multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs within months. Our prediction is January. That's why we were so we were so shocked about the fake news, because nobody expected it this early. So that is the final update in terms of news. And this is something that I just wanted to share because I was researching in school, and actually I was doing my math homework right before I went on to do this video. I was doing some, I think this is simultaneous equations. I was doing something, but yeah, I just wanted to share this with you because I was researching the oil situation during COVID in economics class. And as you can see here, the oil did go into the negative, which was crazy by itself. But I wanted to show you this perfect head and shoulders pattern that you can clearly see on the chart. So this is an example that I wanted to show because it's just such a nice demonstration on how technical analysis works in every single asset. So this is just a nice demonstration. Of course, if we broke the neckline, you could assume that we would drop, and that is exactly what we did. So yeah, just a nice showcase of the accuracy of technical analysis right over there. But ladies and gents, that is pretty much it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, again, make sure to smash up that like button. That would be absolutely amazing. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day ahead. And guys, I will see you all in the next video very soon. Take care, guys, and bye-bye.